Good morning. This is Pastor Marvin Osborne with First Baptist Church of Birmingham, Ohio, and I hope you're well today. Well, we've been talking about the Antichrist, haven't we? We've talked about the last days and how important it is to be ready when the rapture of the church takes place, and we believe that the rapture of the church takes place prior to the tribulation period. We've been talking about the Antichrist and who he is, and the Bible gives us descriptors. He also gives us other ways of understanding the personality of this guy. Why will the world worship the beast? Yes, the dragon or the devil will cause people to worship him. Certainly, the false prophet will cause people to worship him. But there's going to be something about this guy. Now, we live in an era where Marvel Comics and all the comics, these superheroes, the Fantastic Four and Iron Man and all these comic book characters have come to life on screen, and they have all these superpowers, and everybody just flaunts and flocks to these cartoon characters, made up people. But can you imagine that if you had somebody that possessed these certain characteristics that are seen as super, or certainly different than the average man, people will flock and worship him. Remember what we talked about with Obama and how people flocked to him, and for whatever reason. And I believe it was a strong delusion the Bible tells us about. But the Bible tells us that this Antichrist, this false prophet, this man will be a genius of, I think, of unprecedented in unprecedented terms. We think of an Einstein. We think of different men and women who have these high IQs, and I think he's going to have a super high IQ. There'll be no one like him that has ever walked this planet other than Jesus Christ. The Bible tells us in Daniel 8:23 through 25 that he will be an intellectual genius. He will be an intellectual genius. You think of Steve Hawking, you think of Einstein, you think of others of that ilk, and his IQ will be far superior than theirs. He will be an oratorical genius, meaning that he will be able to communicate in such a way that sways audiences. And I think that's where Obama and Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, the great communicator, Winston Churchill, that type of, they had that kind of charisma, maybe not so much Winston Churchill, but what he said and his authority. It says in Daniel 11:36, it says, "And the king shall do according to his will, and shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done." And so he's going to be able to sway the masses. You think of Adolf Hitler and those old newsreels, and how they had thousands of people in the audience there, and there's Hitler, and he's making all his bravios gestures and so forth, and the people just flocking to them. They were almost hypnotized by what he said, moved in such a way that they declared war on the vast majority of the world. Think about that with the Antichrist. Revelation 17, Daniel chapter 9, verse 27, he tells us that he'll be a political genius. He'll be able to work within the dictates of country after country and bring them all together under one headship. He will be a commercial genius. Daniel 11:43, Revelation 13:16 through 19. He'll be a commercial genius. You think of Steve Jobs. You think of Bill Gates, you think of Donald Trump, you think about those those business leaders, and make no mistake about it, business sways politics throughout the world. And so he will be a commercial genius, understanding tariffs. He'll understand trades, and he'll understand embargoes and all these other things that go along with of bringing commerce and politics together. He will be a military genius, of course. Revelation chapter 6, Revelation 13:2. And so he would be a military genius. Think of Patton, you think of MacArthur, and so forth. That idea of him controlling all things. It says in Revelation 6:2, uh, and, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. That idea that he will be able to conquer at will. He'll understand what he needs to do when he wants to do it, and he'll have the power and have the means by which to do it. Revelation 13:8 and 2 Thessalonians 2:4 tells us that he'll be a religious genius as well, meaning that he'll bring all the religions together, and he'll have the false prophet, and we'll talk about him in time. He'll have a false prophet, and he'll have a one world religion, which ultimately will worship the beast, which ultimately worships Satan himself. And so you have this Superman who may be a homosexual, and bring all these woke communities together. He'll be a military genius. He'll be an intellectual genius. He'll be an oratorical genius. He'll be a political genius. He'll be a commercial genius. He'll be a religious genius. So why wouldn't the world worship him? Oh, they'll flock to him. They'll flock to him, just like we saw them flock to Obama and to others like him. The world is primed for this strong delusion, this this time of deception that will draw the world into a dictatorship like never before. This is Pastor Marvin Osborne saying God loves you, and I love you as well. I'll talk to you soon.